I'm Zach Dingy. I'm the regional sales manager of Plug PV. We've done over $100 million in sales. And today I want to teach you about 10 traits that make people want to follow you. Now, I know you're probably thinking follow you on Instagram or social media, and that's not what I'm talking about. I've successfully grown multiple sales teams. One of the most valuable skills in the world today is being able to influence others to do as you would like them to do. We lack leadership today. We lack strong people. And if you are one of those people that want to lead others and want to be strong, it starts with these 10 traits. So let's look at them. Number one, mission. Probably the most important thing you need to have as an entrepreneur or sales leader is a mission. There has to be some kind of goal that everyone is working for. We as humans come from tribes, and we've always had this tribal feeling of business. When you're in a business, you guys are all working towards a common goal. The stronger and bigger that goal is, the better chance you have at accomplishing it. So, for example, Elon Musk, his goal, his mission, his crusade is to save the planet basically and get to another planet. That think is so big, so many people want to follow it because it's a huge, massive goal that everyone else wants to do as well. And so if your goal is to, and you can go any level in between. Most people aren't Elon Musk. If your mission is to help people build better restaurants, well, that's your mission then. You need to find other people that also want to make the restaurant industry better and the food industry better and the service industry better. Whatever yours is, find the mission and then gather people that only want to work on that mission. You don't need everyone. You need the 10, 15, 20, 30 people that want to help make that mission true for you. Last thing on mission, you want to find the pain, not the passion. In the beginning, it's the fad today. Everyone wants to look at the passion. You want to find what you want to do in life. In the beginning, it's much easier to find what you don't want before you know what you love to do. Most people, when you're 18 years old, you ask any kid who's 18, who's just getting out of high school, what do you want to do with your life? I have no idea. You're not supposed to. You don't have any real world experience. What things don't you like? You've probably figured some of those things out by 18. You know what you don't want to do in school. You know what kind of girls you don't want to be with. You know what kind of cars you don't want to drive. So then let's find something that you don't want and do the opposite and make that your mission. You know, for me, it was independence. I didn't want to be controlled. I was always kind of a rebel, so to speak. And so when I started selling solar, for me, it became about how to get homeowners to break control and break the monopoly from their utility company. That was my mission to start. Number two is vision. Mission is we. We are trying to accomplish this thing. Vision is more of me. What do I want to accomplish? What is my vision for how I want this company to look like? What is my vision for what I want to drive, for the lifestyle I want to have? So vision is something a little bit more selfish, where mission is more of your selfless thing that you're trying to accomplish in the world. Once you have your vision of what you want, you need to repeat it often, repeat it to the people. There's a great quote, I'm not sure who it's by, but says, I don't fear the man that practiced 10,000 kicks one time. I fear the man that practiced one kick 10,000 times. That is the same thing for mission and vision. Get them both down, know what it is, and say it all the time. Everyone in the company should know the mission and vision by heart, and you should be tired of saying it within the first 3 years of having your business open. It is very attractive to have a vision because a lot of people don't know what they want in life, and they will attach to you because they think that you know what you want. Well, hopefully you do know what you want, but regardless, people like to follow. Most people in this world are followers, and if you're the leader and you know what you want, you tell people all the time, at least they know whether they want to follow you or not. They might not like what you're standing for, but they will have a yes or a no definitive answer. And when I say follower, I think people might take that the wrong way, and I don't mean it in any derogatory way where I'm trying to put anyone down for being a follower. In every society in the world for the history of time, there's one king and everyone else is below the king. So there's always 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people at the top, and everyone else is technically a follower. Follower is not a bad term. We as humans love to be told what to do. We love to follow. We love to not be in full control and be able to let the restraints loose and let somebody else lead. So it's not a bad thing. Most people are, and there's plenty of people in this world that are number 2, 3, 4, 5, 50 in a company and still are millionaires and billionaires. It's very hard to get people to follow you if you don't have confidence in yourself. Confidence is attractive. We all know somebody who's just confident, and there is nothing like it. That attitude, that feeling, that energy, at the end of the day, human beings are just balls of energy stuck in a meat body. We just happen to have the skin and everything else, but what makes us us is our energy, our soul. And when someone is confident at their core, they've been through it, they're comfortable in their skin, they're comfortable with their weaknesses, their strengths, they know who they are, they've studied themselves. Oh my God, is it attractive. You can get everyone to want to follow you if you just are comfortable with yourself. And I mean truly comfortable with yourself. So if you want people to follow you, it's very important to have confidence. Couple things to build that. You have to be who you say you are. If you want to get in shape, which is the easiest step for everyone to first take, if you want to get in shape and you say you're going to go on a run in the morning, if you don't go on that run, your unconscious mind knows you lie to yourself and it starts to think less of you. And as you do the opposite, as you start to stack, you saying, I'm going to get to $100,000 a year income. I'm going to get a six-pack. I'm going to get the girl of my dreams. As you start to stack those beliefs, it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you have more and more confidence. And in the beginning, it starts little. I'm going to make my bed in the morning. You do that, you get a little bit more confidence. So that's one tip I have to create more confidence. I will tell you, you need ego to be good in sales. And to not self-sabotage yourself. A lot of the top sales guys, they're kind of assholes. The ones that are the best of the best have the ego, but they also have empathy. So as a salesman, you want to be confident, you got to have the ego, you got to have a chip, you got to kind of think you're the shit. But then if you have empathy and you care about other people and you actually want to help, that's when you have this masterful mix and you have the best sales leaders in the company. That's what they come from. Ego and empathy. There's a reason why when you send in a job application, they make you send in a resume. They have to see what you've done in the past. And as a sales leader or someone who's trying to be a sales leader, you don't have to be the number one sales guy in the company. Oftentimes, the person that is number one in the company doesn't have the skill sets, the empathy, the compassion to be a sales leader. So you don't have to be number one, but you do have to be a top percent, a top 10%, a top 20% salesperson in that company, so people know that you do have what it takes. Then, if you learn how to lead people and you get people to like you and you have that human element of like, okay, this guy is cool, I like him, you have the confidence, you have the mission, you have the vision, you have the other stuff we go over. Then, when you have the past wins and experience, people love that. That's why people paid big money for Tom Brady, because he had 3, 4, 5, 6 Super Bowl wins. And then Buccaneers wrote him a check. They wrote him a fat check because he proved that he could win Super Bowls. He was good at it. So they gave him a lot of money for that. This is why people binge watch Andrew Tate, because Andrew Tate has a resume of a 4-time world kickboxing champion, private jets, the women, the whole shebang that everybody wants. And so because he has that, people see, oh, he has the things that I want. He's already had those wins. That's the proof. Let me do what he does. It takes years to build trust and just seconds to lose it. You can at work be the guy that everyone loves. You can be the one that people trust with the money, with whatever it is in your life, and all of a sudden you cheat on your wife, everyone in that office loses trust for you. A lot of people have integrity in certain things and not integrity in other things. So you have to make sure you're completely aligned. You have all of your principles and your non-negotiables and your lifestyle in check, so people can put all of their trust and faith in you. When you're in the beginning of business or a sales leader and you only have 2, 3, 4, 5 sales guys maybe, it's not that big of a deal. When you get to 50, 60, 70, It's a big deal because there's so many different people, so many different opinions, so many different cultures and beliefs that if you start switching on your word and doing things and lying, one person catches onto it, it spreads, and you can lose your entire sales team's trust in less than a day. All it takes is for you to lie one time and it get out to everyone. So in business and in sales leadership, everyone is very egotistical. Everyone's got a chip on their shoulder. It's a high intensity job. You don't need to add fuel to the fire by lying about things and being untrustworthy. You want to have absolute integrity. You want to stand by principles. You want to have non-negotiables, and you cannot break them, because sales culture is by far the most important culture in the company, because that is the bloodline of the business. So if you start lying in sales, it spreads everywhere else, and then you have a shitty company. Communication to others. You have to be able to communicate to a single person, me speaking one-on-one to my sales rep, and then I also have to be the guy that can turn around, walk up here, stand in front of 100 people and get everyone amped up in a sales rally. You have to be able to communicate to 1, to 5, to 20 through a camera, in person, on the phone. There's so many different ways that we have to communicate today, and there's so many different languages. On social media, it's a different language. So if I'm talking to you on camera, it's a certain way of getting across my message. If I'm on the phone with someone, if I'm on the phone with 3 people, if I'm got a full sales team in front of me, if I'm having a one-on-one conversation with my mother, with my sales rep, there's a million different ways to communicate. So I think back in the day, our weapons used to be swords and guns during times of war. Now our weapons are our words. Everyone wants a debate. We choose presidents by what they get up and they debate each other. And whoever can articulate their thoughts better and get the crowd more excited, they win. It's the same in business. Every thought is transferred by your mouth. So you have to get very, very, very good at speaking and getting your message across and conveying it so people listen. You got to be a good storyteller. There's so many depths to this. I can go on with a whole video about communication. But at the end of the day, like what I said in the beginning, your words are your weapons. So use them and use them well. Problem solver. I would say in my business, I've built a very strong culture of sales reps. The reason is there is guaranteed to be problems when you're building a sales team. Like I previously said in the video, there's so many different egos and cultures and thought processes and beliefs, and salespeople are usually very outspoken and usually have a couple screws loose. So there's gonna be some problems, some tension, some people who don't like each other. Our job as leaders and managers is to mediate it as quick as possible. You cannot let things linger. Cancer starts with one cell, and then it takes over the entire body. It's the same with problems. If you are a sales leader and you have one bad apple, if you do not mediate that situation, fire them, handle it. If it's problems with 2 people, you bring them in, you have them speak to each other. I've done it many times, but that is what creates culture. And if you don't do it the correct way and you just put a Band-Aid on it, the problems don't go away, they come back up in the future. So anytime there's a problem on your sales team, you have to be the first one there and make sure you solve it immediately. Number 8 is empathy. I talked about confidence before and ego. What it takes to be a good sales leader, you need ego and empathy. Empathy gets you to be able to relate to people on a personal level, gets you to have those tough conversations, gets you to see things from other people's point of view, and then the ego is what makes you want to win. When you mix those two, that is how you get to always be pushing forward and bringing people up around you. I've heard this before. I think it was Gary Vee who said it, but you don't need to knock everyone else's building down to have the biggest building in town. So when you truly care about your sales rep, people can sense it and it bleeds down. So the fish stinks from the head down. If you as a leader have no empathy for your people, you create a very cutthroat culture where other people don't want to help. If you as a leader truly care, then everyone else feels that, they care about each other, and then you have a family and not a cutthroat sales team that stabs each other in the back. As leaders of a company, We like to think that we're just a guy at the top. We make all the good ideas, plans, we set the expectation, and then we say, okay, this is how we're gonna complete the sales call. This is how we're gonna complete the mission, whatever it is. And then we go to our guys and we just say, go do this. One of the best phrases I've ever heard, which was out of Jocko Willink's book, was decentralized command. That means as your company grows, there's gonna be a lot of smart people who know how to sell, maybe even better than you. You need to be able to put your ego aside and let someone else take command. There was a guy in my company who came in, he doubled the second guy's sales. So if number 2 in the company had 50, he had 100. He was more than double the second guy in the company. And I'm like, holy shit, I don't know what this guy's doing. But I brought him in, I had him speak to everyone in front of the company because I don't need to be the one to convey the message. When he comes in, he shares how he's doing it. Not only does it make him feel good because he gets to speak in front of the group, but it teaches everyone else. And you don't have to be the guy to do all the teachings. A lot of people think when you're the manager or the leader, you have to be the guy that everyone goes to, and you gotta be the one that knows all the solutions to all the problems. You don't have to be like that. Decentralize the command. Let other people get involved. Let other people feel the sense of followership and empowerment. So at the core, what decentralized command means is you want guys to feel empowered to make their own decisions. You shouldn't be the one making all the decisions for them. You give them guidelines and then you let them play in those lines. I found that that's the best way to build a sales team because it makes people feel like they're running their own business and they're in control. And when they feel like they're in control and they get to do it their way, they care about it a lot more. Instead of you telling them what to do, you let them feel empowered, do it their way with your guidelines, and that's how you make people really want to do it themselves. This one is a curveball, but the last one is fitness. I think most people on the planet, when they see someone else in shape, they have an immediate level of respect. So as a sales leader, I think the core of what you need to start at is yourself. If you don't try to be the best version of yourself and get your wellness, your mental health in check, then it's very hard to lead other people. When you become a leader and a manager, you are now responsible for 10, 15, 20, depends how big your sales team is, but you can be responsible for 200, 300, 400 people. That means that if you aren't always on or ready to play, then you can lose some deals because of that. When you prioritize yourself before others, it shows that you actually respect yourself and people respect you a whole lot more. So in today's world, with all the fucking obesity in America and all the problems we have, and it's like 70-something% of people in America are overweight, you can instantly put yourself in an advantage. When you're in shape, you take care of yourself, people will be much more willing to follow you because it's a visual example of you respect yourself. These are the 10 steps or traits to make people follow you. I think in today's world, if you are in sales, the next step is to become a sales manager. That's how you go up the line. That's how you make more income, is to go to the next step and start teaching people. Once you become a sales manager, the next step is to become a regional or a sales director and someone who teaches now the managers. So that's kind of the ladder you follow. I don't know what step you're exactly on, but obviously the higher you climb up that ladder, the more money you make. And to wrap this up and kind of put some statistics to it, the US Bureau of Labor said the average salesperson makes $30,600 in a year, where the average sales manager makes $120,000 in a year. So that's 4 times the amount if you're a sales manager compared to a salesman. So in order to get to that level, it takes these traits, which are not the same traits it takes to become the best salesman. And I say this a lot. I have so many examples of this, but most of the best salespeople that I've ever coached would be terrible sales leaders. So you have to find what's right for you. There's plenty of people that I know that are making hundreds of thousands, even millions as just a salesperson. There's other people I know that have moved up to sales management and made that kind of money, and then have also failed trying to become a sales manager. So you need to find out which one's best for you, which one works, And then if you move up to the sales manager, where you can really start to make the millions of dollars plus, is if you can teach other sales managers. So as a sales manager, the culture comes from you, the strategy comes from you, the culture and the office you're building all starts with you. So the better you become, typically in sales, the more money is made, the better your office is, the more people that want to follow you. So as a sales leader, you have just signed yourself up for a responsibility to become the best version of you. And like I explained, that's all these traits. So if you want to make more money, the great thing about sales and sales leadership is it's results based. So a lot of people are scared of the commission jobs. And as a salesman, I want to say congratulations, because as a salesperson, you can wake up on a Monday, work as hard as you possibly can, and give yourself $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 raise in a single week. So it's all up to you. And I want to say thank you for watching. I'm Zach Dingy. This is Create Your Own Power, and these are the sales tips for sales leaders.